Sports Talk Radio.
What's up,
Happy to be
everybody?
back. Happy to be back. I'm here, Sticks Mitchell, the Stick Show,
Nikki Marie.
Your boy M Extra.
and we're gonna get right into it.
Yes.
We just had a Super Bowl, people.
Oh,
It wasn't so exciting on the offensive stance,
I don't
but it
think
was a
a
defensive
super-
battle. Defensive battle. What I like to
If you were
see.
a real football fan,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
enjoyed
yeah.
it.
It was real football, smash mouth football.
how was it real football?
Hard tackling defense.
Because it was
Defense.
old school.
A lot of
It was
punts.
nasty.
Okay, I must have
I
fell
like to see
asleep.
field goals. I
I
like to
must
see
have fell
games
asleep.
decided by field
We
goals.
like,
You
we
know
like
what I
to see
mean?
those low-scoring defensive
Yeah,
battles
yeah.
sometimes. All this offensive stuff is just for the
Patriots
pretty
won
guys,
by
you
their
know?
defense. Bill Belichick with a virtuoso performance. I mean, just made Sean McVay look like he was 32 years old.
I
And,
definitely,
you know, I appreciate that
definitely
because,
fell asleep.
you know, if he had won that Super Bowl, they would have been crowning him the boy wonder.
You know what's crazy is that some people were saying that they actually felt like Sean McVay kind of conceded victory to Bill Belichick by paying homage to him before the game.
Man, that's like Kobe playing against Jordan and telling him he's the greatest and he
I
really
think
admires
he tried
him,
to
but you
push
go
it a
out
little
there
bit
and
too
you play
far.
with everything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And not trying to lose.
No, Sean McVay did the right thing. You pay homage to the greatest coach ever. I don't think that took away from his game plan,
No.
or the lack thereof.
Right.
He just didn't make adjustments. You know, I always talk about
I
that.
think the Rams tried to do a little bit too much as far as trying to throw the ball down the field. They were trying to get into long breaking routes, long developing routes that they should have been trying to just tail off and get short yardage and allowing their playmakers to make plays after the catch.
Our very
mean,
own Nikki Marie actually picked the Patriots. We want to
I
be fair.
did. All right, so
Definitely
if you
wanna be fair.
guys have a laptop, computer, desktop, whatever you want to call it, if you go to sportstalkradio.info, you will see my predictions.
Mhm.
So I had it set up Patriots first because, you know, history doesn't lie,
That's right.
you know.
That's right.
So Patriots was up. The Rams was in there because of my guy, Todd Gurley. I don't think he was used very well.
Not at all. Not at all. They man, it was a terrible job. He
Yeah.
botched that one.
He was
Definitely botched
He's
that
real
one.
limited. I think they might be trying to hide a little bit of info on that injury.
It had nothing to do with any injury. He actually came out and said that. He just,
Yeah, but I think that's
as the
just
game
him.
got rolling, that game's an entity of its own, okay? Even the pregame is like an extra 30 minutes added to the pregame, an extra 30 minutes added to the halftime. Things were swirling. I just think he was overwhelmed, and Wade Phillips did a poor job, as I told you earlier. Wade Phillips should have did a better job of helping that young guy prepare for this moment, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, listen, that you're
Yeah.
70 years old. You've been there,
Can't put
you've
this
done
on
that.
Wade, man. If his unit performed well, they held the Patriots to 13 points. You can't ask for anything more than that.
And that's but I may need your help on the O. I may need your
That's
help.
not his
I may
thing.
need your help with adjustments. It doesn't matter. Like I told you, every football coach, in my opinion, knows offense. They can defer, and their specialty can be defense. But for the most part, I feel like every head coach knows offense, right? Where everyone's supposed to be.
Right.
You know, what sets we're going to be in,
Right.
what's our game plan going in,
But-
you know, because they always reserve that right to take the reins and start making the play calling, right?
Yeah.
Or tell the OC, you know, now you know what I mean? They make those calls, so they got to know what's going on. And I feel like Wade Phillips saw him being outcoached on that sideline for 4 quarters and never came over and pulled his coat. Come on, you know what I mean? Let me give you
But
some.
we don't know what kind of guy Sean McVay is. Also, to be put in a spot like that is kind of tough sometimes.
Free
to have an
flowing,
assistant
he
coach
looks like a
come over
personal
there
guy. He
and
doesn't
just
look like he's
try
got
to
an
tell you
ego.
to do something differently than what you've normally been doing.
Listen,
You
any
don't
guy
know
that
what
comes
know.
out and says, I got out coached after a Super Bowl, I feel like would have took criticism or advice from his assistant head coach. Right? If you got the moxie to come out and say, hey, listen, I got out coached, then you can take Wade Phillips telling you at halftime, hey, listen, I see some things I can help you. It's all about being open to, criticism.
But for all we know, Wade could have done that, and I think that they did make some adjustments at halftime. But again, I just felt like they were trying to get into having Jared Goff stand back there a little bit too long for the way the Patriots pass rush was playing on Sunday. Like they were.
Listen.
I don't know.
When you run on first down and you throw on second down, you become predictable. And when you become predictable about playing against Bill Belichick, okay, he had the perfect game plan. right? Perfect game plan.
Yeah, he said we're not going to allow you to run
We're
the
going
ball.
to double Woods,
Mm.
right? Who's their second defender, and we're going to put our best defender, Gabriel, on their number one receiver.
Yeah, but I think you need to start at, they said that we're not going to allow you to run the football. They took that option away from the Rams and forced them to be in long yardage situations.
Force the ball
and laid
with
it down.
Todd Gurley.
Huh?
Force the ball. Give Todd Gurley those touches,
I was upset.
and he will get a
I
rhythm
was upset
for the way
that-
that they're playing on that offensive line because he's a great player, and he would have found a way
I was
to
more
get
upset that
yards.
they didn't utilize him in the passing game, though. I felt like that's something that they
You know-
normally do, and they didn't do that on Sunday. That was
But
something that
but
surprised
that
me.
was my point. They haven't used him. He's like one of the top receivers. They just didn't use him.
All right. A big reason as to why people say the game sucked. I'm not gonna lie, was the offense.
Yeah,
But let's be honest, the game got the worst ratings in 10 years.
yeah.
So it had to be more than just the offense. What do you guys
So-
think?
I think people are joining in
So
on
we
this
talk-
protest.
So we're talking about 98.2 million views, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
When it's usually 115,
It's a
something like
lot
that.
of millions.
So I'm thinking, is it because of the support for Colin Kaepernick?
I think
One.
that definitely has something to do
Is it
with
because it was an easy prediction and everybody kind of knew the Patriots were going to win it?
No,
so they
I don't
didn't
think-
want to watch
I
it?
don't
Few
think
people
we
didn't
say
tune
that.
in for that reason. She's got something.
I mean,
Uh,
because people, the Rams were definitely not underrated in the situation. I don't think. I think
They weren't
people
favored.
kinda were giving them.
I mean, they had some injured players.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
Yeah, he's missing another great receiver.
mean-
You're right. That's two great points by Nikki right there. Listen, I didn't tune into the game in the second half because the first half was horrible. I didn't watch the first quarter because I was conflicted because I am with Cap. So it's like, do I watch? Okay, I'll watch a little bit of it. And then
Okay,
it was
can I-
whack in
wait.
the second quarter. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch the rest of this.
Wait.
And of
wait,
course, I
before
tuned
you-
in for the
wait,
fourth quarter.
Wait, before you move on. So this is my question. So for the people who didn't want to tune in to the actual Super Bowl because they wanted to support Colin, which I am supportive of him, why watch the rest of the games? What makes the Super Bowl?
It's like rappers.
out.
It's like rappers saying that they don't want to be a part of the Super Bowl,
So
but
it's
they
like
go
the-
to the club in Atlanta and they get paid $15,000 to
It's
be
like
there
the
Super
Fry
Bowl
Festival?
weekend. You know, it's everyone's blowing smoke. All right,
Yeah,
everyone's blowing
because
smoke.
at
There's
the end of the
hypocrisy
day, if
across
the check
the
is
board.
big enough, these guys are gonna sway and change.
Yeah,
their
listen.
perspectives on things. So
The hypocrisy is huge, okay?
They
If you're not going to be a part of the
already.
Super Bowl, then go to Alaska for the weekend, okay? Get out of the country.
Straightforward.
Don't give them any of your dollars, and don't take any of their dollars if you're really going to be a part of that boycott of the Super Bowl. When you see all these celebrities in Atlanta, you know, we're not celebrating the Super Bowl, but why are you in Atlanta?
But we are having a Super Bowl party.
Yeah, and then you're
Right.
going to the club, you're getting 20 grand, and you're popping bottles that night
right.
or during Super Bowl weekend, or you're going to Magic City or Blue Flame out in Atlanta. You know, don't ask me why I know those names.
Don't treat it like a holiday. You know.
Right.
Listen, it's just hypocrisy. And we're going to move on because I don't like spending too much time on celebrities. I feel like they get enough attention. So we're not going to do that on this platform. We're going to start with the
Yeah, talk
NBA
about
and the 76ers.
The trade.
Huge, monumental
Yes.
trade.
Man,
Tobias
that was a big
Harris
trade.
comes over with Boban, Big Boban,
Yes.
Mike Scott,
Yes.
three nice front court players.
Yes. I think that's going to be the move of the deadline. Like I feel like that just changed the playoff picture a little bit from the standpoint of the Sixers are going to be able to maybe beat a team like the Raptors or Milwaukee when they couldn't have before that trade actually happened.
Whoa. You just said Milwaukee. You ever seen Tobias Harris play against Giannis? I think we watched.
This sounds like
Yeah, and that's
be a part of.
and we watched him after he left Milwaukee
Okay.
play against them in the Clippers game. And,
Yeah.
you know, we were talking about it and we were watching, and Tobias Harris was shooting air balls because of
Well,
Giannis's length.
well,
and he's
this is
kind of
the thing
soft.
that-
He doesn't go
but
to
this
the
is the
rim, and
thing
Giannis is really tough. So I don't think he's going to
But
help
this is the
against
thing
Giannis.
But this is the thing that we have to now take into consideration is that you have to kind of double Embiid a lot of times. You know, like I know Brook Lopez is a solid defensive center, but I don't think that he can guard Joel Embiid and hold and contain him for a whole game. So now when you're double teaming Joel Embiid or, you know, maybe Ben Simmons or whoever it is, Tobias Harris is allowed to stand there and spot up shoot now, and that's something that he does very well. He's not somebody who...
At what percentage?
It's wide open now. I don't think that he's had the benefit of that working in his
I don't
favor.
think he's over 40%. I think he's a mediocre
But
shooter.
it's wide open now.
It doesn't matter. I think he's a mediocre shooter, and he's scared to go all the way to the rim. I think he's conscious of being hurt, and he's not. He doesn't have that physical nature that I'm looking for in a guy to take me to a championship. When you're talking about championship, you're talking about the last 2 minutes of the game, the refs not calling anything. That's how championship basketball is. When that starts happening, you need guys like Jimmy Butler, who's going to go all the way to the rim and not look for the refs to bail him out.
But we're talking about him being a piece to the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? He's a piece to that puzzle. We know where they're going to go.
You're talking about the Eastern Conference where there's Kawhi Leonard,
right,
Giannis Antetokounmpo,
right,
and the Celtics, who have a couple of good front court players.
And they did.
And they all are physical. But they're
that.
all physical.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris has to bite some type of a steal or something. He's got to get some toughness. He's got to come to the Eastern Conference and realize that this is not the Western Conference where they just run up and down. Yeah. There are some rough and tough teams in the Eastern Conference. The Toronto who play grinded out basketball. He's going to have to be tough-minded and also defend. We don't talk about defense ever, but Tobias Harris is not known as a defender.
Yeah, he's gonna have to play the 4 a lot, so he's gonna be relied upon to stop the guys close to the basket.
Rebound.
He's gonna have to chest up. But I mean, he's 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah. It sounds good. He's also been playing for a few years, and I don't think he ever averaged a block.
I'm just saying, Brett Brown may be able to bring something
or
out
10
of him.
rebounds.
But,
Westbrook averaged 13.
Yeah.
Tell him go out there and get 10 rebounds. Yeah, he's a freak athlete.
I just think that sometimes when you play with certain teams, though, there's not a lot of rebounds for certain guys because you got one guy.
Nikki, what do you think about the Sixers? You think they got a chance?
Anything is possible.
I like that. That's positive.
With prayer.
I know positive.
Positive
faith.
Conference playoffs are going to be
take
interesting.
advantage.
I think people are doubting that. The Eastern Conference playoffs are going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Toronto's going to come out. Let's just be honest. Like, they have the most complete team. You got Kawhi Leonard at the helms. He's been there, done that.
They
Finals
have problems
MVP.
with Milwaukee.
Here's this guy. Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs will diffuse Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay.
You remember I said that.
All right.
We're talking about the best defender in the league.
All right.
He will find a way to chest
saw
up
them
and keep
square
him
off a
shooting
couple
jump
of weeks
shots.
ago, and it wasn't.
And it was a night after he didn't play.
That good.
It was a night after Kawhi missed the night before. He's been in and out because he's trying to get the right.
That you heard him
You know,
say it
Kawhi Leonard's trying to get the right combination
down.
of rest and gameplay without the the load management.
He's 50-50 on his points.
Yeah.
Kawhi's, listen, that guy will figure out a way to limit Giannis Antetokounmpo. He will. With the scheme and the team and guys hedging, this is Kawhi Leonard. I'm not betting against a finals MVP, against a guy who hasn't even proven he can win the playoffs. I like Giannis, like the kid, but he hasn't shown me anything yet. I'm not ready to give you the keys to my car, kid, unless you give me a license. Where's your license?
This might be his time. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, Giannis is
another 2
playing
years.
at an
Another 2
incredibly high
years.
level right now.
Get the guy another 2. He needs to fail this year, get another player next year, fail again. Then maybe he'll get over the hump.
That adversity is what every great player goes through.
He did. LeBron took 7 years. Took Jordan 8 years.
Yeah.
But you have to fall on your
Gotta
face
have
a
some
few
trials
times.
and tribulations.
You know what I mean? And I don't think that Giannis, he's had a lot of success in his young career.